Testing. We working? Finally. There we go. Had to play with some of my settings. Turns out the encoder settings that I had switched up to, apparently they don't like the NVIDIA settings. I don't have an explanation. But are we working? Are we live? Can you hear me? Yeah, it would be nice if things went well tonight too. Okay, you can hear me. Just getting stuff posted and going, hopefully. Okay, so we're gonna do that to take care of Twitter. Hello, welcome, welcome. Wait for YouTube to load so I can copy stuff over. I guess as we get things started, for stuff to talk about quick while we wait for me to get things ready. One thing is, thank you, is that if YouTube will load, it looks like Twitch and some of these other sites may be crapping themselves because of incoming regulations about some of the stuff that they've been doing, like unfairly attacking VTubers. I am looking forward to that. So, yay, everyone cross your fingers that that stuff stays and holds. Yeah, that is pretty much it. Also, on November 22nd is the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. And around that time, Star Citizen will be having their free fly. Now, I am probably not going to be streaming during the free fly because we always try that and the servers are always awful and it's always absolutely miserable. So I am probably not going to do that this time. However, I would encourage you to try the free fly, and I will probably attempt some Star Citizen around that time, if not during that time. There's a couple ships that are coming out that I really want to show off and are sort of in my wheelhouse for what I have been looking for. So I have been looking for a home base ship type ship that is a part daily driver, part I don't need to keep going to stations type vessel. And my laundry list of things that I want out of it have been a cargo hold large enough to hold a vehicle and cargo, a hangar, or, just a cargo hold I can use as a hangar that can carry at least one quantum capable fighter, so that I can just pick up and leave and go do combat things without taking the whole ship with me. A medical facility, so I can make the ship my respawn point. Multi-crew capability, but able to be flown by one person if necessary, and as part of that, pilot weapons. It doesn't need to be combat effective. I just don't want to be like flying around in the Carrack where I have to get out of my seat and run back to a turret or something just in order to chase off some NPCs. I want to be able to at least deal with NPCs and shoo them away on my own, or have a little bit of what I like to refer to as the get out of my way factor, where you're not PvPing, but you are smacking ships in front of you that decide to be a pest so that you can get away. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And there was one ship that I had always been very hopeful would fill that role, that more and more people kept saying, no, that's never going to happen. And then there's one ship coming out that gets really close, but if it works, it's super, super tight. The ship coming out is the new Misk Starlancer, which is a big 4-person multi-crew ship with a large cargo bay, an armory for storing things, and crew quarters. And it has 4 size 4 pilot guns, 16 size 3 missiles, pilot missiles, and then 2 of your 4 crewers can get on turrets to help defend the ship. And then 1 person can run around with a fire extinguisher, basically. And it has a tactical version, which a lot of what the TAC adds I am not interested in, but it does replace some of the cargo room with a medical bay. Unfortunately, it also replaces a good chunk of the cargo room with a drop pod, which is like, can I lose the drop pod and keep some of that cargo and just keep the medical bay? And then it has a tiny, itty bitty little hangar on it for a Fury. The problem is the Fury is not quantum capable, and it's so tiny that I doubt there's any other ship that's going to fit in the hangar. I can almost get away with the regular with the regular Starlancer, in that it doesn't have a hangar, but you can fit as one of the ground vehicles the medical Ursa, nicknamed by most people the Nursa, in the back, which comes with a med bay and serves as a ground vehicle, but then you're responding on that, not on the ship, and that can end badly. So I had been playing around with how can I do something with that. And then I found out some new information. The ship that I really wanted to be my home base, even though it was asking a lot, especially given, well, what it is and what it represents. Turns out it may actually fit the bill perfectly. And I have mentioned before, I made a bad decision a while ago in Star Citizen, and this ship is the bad decision. The RSI Polaris. The Robert Space Industries Polaris class light corvette. It is one of the smallest capital ships in the game, but it is a capital ship. And it is not designed to be a solo player's base. Ekinem badly walks out of the van only to see empty space, the other half of the ship going, yep. So the reason that I figured the Polaris would be a no, even though I have one at its original cheaper price, is everyone kept saying, no, it's a multi-crew ship. There will be no pilot weapons. Which is like, well, I run into the same problem I have with the Carrack. That seems to have changed. I am seeing now that the Polaris has two pilot missile racks. No guns, but a pair of missile racks. And 7 PDCs, point defense cannons. These are automated and will just shoot down incoming missiles and torpedoes, or attempt to shoot down incoming missiles and torpedoes. That is all I need to fit my pilot weapon requirement, because I'm not looking for something that I can go out and solo as an effective combat ship. I'm looking for something that I can swat random NPCs that get in my way with, and that won't just be completely helpless without me running back and forth between stations. No way to get in you're thinking of the Mercury Star Runner, which also gets close with its massive cargo bay in the back, but no, sadly. Also no med bay. It actually has multiple entrances and egresses, so yay. But it is a huge ship, even though it is a, quote, small corvette. It is a very large vessel. Designed to crew like 13 people. But if this is true, with the PDCs and pilot missiles, that is good enough for me. Now, what your crew does while you're doing that is it has a forward light ship-to-ship gun. It has its 4 massive torpedo tubes with, I think, 28 torpedoes. It has a remote missile turret in the back, a remote quad cannon in the back, and then two more crewed multi-purpose guns on the sides. I believe that is its full complement. So that is a minimum of a pilot plus 6 people. Which is substantial on its own. But it has a full-sized hangar and a very large cargo bay in which you can definitely fit cargo and ground vehicles. And with a full-sized hangar, you can either put one very large dedicated combat fighter or a couple small things. Like the Anvil Arrow is famously tiny. It is not my favorite starfighter, but you can fit, like, I heard someone say that you could put like 8 of them in the hangar. So the ability to put like, let's say a Pisces as a tiny shuttlecraft, and then let's just stick with the Arrow as a combat craft and maybe a Fury just as like extra firepower. And then put a normal Ursa, a Pulse Bike, and a Rock Miner in the cargo bay and still be able to take cargo. That is the kind of stuff that, it's more ship than I actually want, but at the same time, I think it's the most complete because it also, obviously, it has a fully equipped medical bay, so I can respawn on it. And, with that big weapon complement, I can say, all right, friends, during that, 20% of the time that I play the game with at least one other person. All right, friends, get in the big ship. We're picking a fight with the Navy. So I want to explore that. and I want to explore it on stream, so maybe I'll actually download the PTU and try it. Maybe we'll just do it when it comes out officially on the main server. But either way, we look at it and decide, will this be my home base? Which is what I want. When I'm playing solo, I want to be able to park it somewhere, get in a combat fighter and leave for combat missions. Maybe use it for hauling cargo. Or just like, ooh, I found stuff. Quickly, pilot into the giant cargo bay. Or again, for being able to deploy ground vehicles and be the base that I operate out of. Which, again, it's still way more ship than I want, but it does tick all the boxes. So, that's why I picked a fight you lost to flip up the main. I'm actually one of the players that has never been sniped by the Idris's freaking railgun. I don't know how I have avoided that so far, because I have gotten in fights with Idris's, but I have managed to never actually get sniped by the railgun, which I consider an achievement. I have some very close calls though. The Gladiator is not as maneuverable as I wish it was. Though I actually think it got a boost lately. It's been a while. I'll have to check it. Anyways, rambles, future things. That is the big, just me having found things over this weekend and watched and been excited, as well as stuff to look out for. And if anyone has any input, please let me know. There we go. I am seriously thinking about it, but going in knowing that as excited as I am for the Polaris, because there's a lot to like about the Polaris on paper, I am nervous that even if I'm not attempting to use it as a dedicated combat ship all the time, that it will just be too much ship to be a base, which will make me sad, and I'll have to go back to trying to shoehorn the Starlancer into that role. But we'll have to see. We will have to see. Yeah, I miss the gambling entirely. That makes me sad. But what are you gonna do? I'm winning in the markets, though. I am winning in the markets, and it makes me happy. Sadly, it is not yet enough to be like super meaningful things, but you know, something is more than nothing. Up two's doing nice. Up two's enjoying himself. I think that is much rambles as I'm gonna be able to get out of this. I do not believe that I have anything else. So I am going to worry about getting the game going, I think is going to be the new plan. Because I don't think I have anything else to ramble about. If I do, I can do it as we play the game. But I am super excited because I got the thing way back when it came out. And I do really like it. I forgot my second earpiece so I can hear the game.